And just to give an example of what our finished result will look like by the end of this is an example of the exercise and something I made with the hybrid rig. And as you can see, it's very similar to some of the examples we were going over. It's just a forward-facing jump, and as you can see, similar kind of antic at the start, and jump happens, then we have contact, same kind of stuff we went over already. And this kind of forward-facing jump, when we save it in Studio Library, this can be very helpful for just this general forward-facing jump could be helpful just for laying out our scenes and stuff when we head into our project assignment, as having some obstacles when we're building out our simple geo environments, and having something as common as a forward-facing jump can be very helpful when we're creating the cycle when we head into that assignment. So yeah, we can use this as a reference later on. Alright, so now that we overviewed our references and as well as some other examples, we can now start working with our rig. I already have mine referenced in, and just remember, if you're still using the same rig, it's best preferred to use that, as we can save everything in Studio Library when we head into our course assignment later. Now, if we're using this rig over here, well, I said we still can't use any of our animations since we want to be making those from scratch. We can still use some poses over here just to get a head start on just placing our character in a position where we want to work off of. And I actually want to select this crouching pose right over here. So I'm just going to select all content and then just hit it. And this crouching pose is actually like a decent kind of startup just to kind of lead into this like antic that I want. So I'm just going to tweak the posing a little bit from here and just kind of make it more like an actual, instead of like a casual lay down kind of crouch, I want it to be more of like a beginning antic for a jump. So I'm just going to rotate these all back to 0 for the head, something like that. Again, using these poses within our pose library, if you have these rigs, is very helpful just to set up some quick key poses. And yeah, we want to start off with the arms extending backwards, since we want to have them. We want the arms to swing forwards afterwards during the jump, since we're applying some force and inertia when we're swinging our arms. We're not just using our legs when antiquing for a jump. Same thing for the walk. Everything in the body is leading into a certain action, so we need to be applying all that directly. I'm actually just going to select some of my controls over here just for the arm itself. I'm also just going to open up my picker as well. And once again, if we're using Animbot, I just want to mirror just these controls, just so it's parallel with the other side. So I'm just going to select these keys. I'm just going to hit mirror to the right. Or, sorry, I think that's the wrong one. Actually, yeah, no, because I do want it to be even with the other side, so yeah, mirror to the right. So yeah, now both these arms are in the same position now. And I just want to shift select both of these so I can just tweak them a little bit from here. But this starting pose is generally looking pretty okay. And once again, we could just pull up our side view as well, right over here. And we can have the feet just a little bit off sync, so that way the foot plan is looking a little bit more natural. But I want the arms to be parallel for now, just so I can just have things like just even to work with when I'm selecting both of these controls and I'm manipulating them at the same time. So once we have that all set up, I'm just gonna select all my controls and set up our first keyframe. Just make sure to save as well. And I'm just gonna go back into my animation, and I'm gonna leave it on auto span to start off with, actually, and I'll get into that in a sec. But I want to set up my next key pose, which for me, I wanted to set it around maybe the maybe like the 6 or 7 frame mark. So yeah, we want to hang on our antic for a little bit. We want to convey what the antic is leading into. So for the next pose over here, we just want to further coil the body even more, just to really sell the action. We're just going to bend the arms down a little bit. And yeah, as a starting pose, that's looking pretty okay. I'm just going to tweak the hands just a little bit. These don't need to be exactly perfectly parallel to each other, so that's not a big deal. But the reason why I want to start off in spline for this initial action is because notice how this already is actually kind of looking pretty okay. Like this auto spline action for this first antic is actually looking pretty solid. Like, so since we're not having a lot of movement for this initial antic, we don't really need to kind of block anything out in between here. The interpolation is already kind of creating a decent kind of arcing motion already that we want for this starting pose. So having this in spline is actually not a bad idea just to start off with. But moving forward though, we do kind of want to work within blocking just for our jumps and everything. But as for this starting pose, having this in spline is actually not bad. And we also just see a good idea of just like if this pose is reading well, this antic. And right now it's actually working pretty okay. We even have some nice overlap on the wrists over here when it's anticing inwards with the forearms. And since the our positions of the wrists themselves are curving inwards over here, yeah, it's actually settling in pretty okay. But yes, now I'm just going to go into linear and stepped for now when moving forward. So I'm just going to, once again, key everything on this one. And our jump should feel somewhat fast off the ground just to get some snappy timing. And so I'm just going to have the contact off the ground maybe be around the 9 frame mark. That might be pretty fast, but we could, but again, getting a feel for the timing, like I said, for the run and walk cycle is all about trial and error. We're probably not going to get this right on the first try, but that is completely fine, since we're just trying to get a feel for our key poses right now. So yeah, and as we saw from our reference, there is a swing of the arms forward. And if you're looking at your own reference, you can also feel free to just look at that and just get an idea of how to see how these mechanics work in real time. But for this, we want to swing the arms a bit more forwards when we're heading into this pose. So that's looking pretty solid. We're just going to tilt the head up just a little bit as well, just so the head is leading in with the action. Now for the raise up. Now we can do this in multiple methods, to be fair. We can also just select our world control just to move up and down if we want to work with that control as well. But for this motion, I think I'm just going to stick with the cog itself. Some people do stick with the world control as well when working with this action, but for these exercises, I want everything to be zeroed out, mainly for the world control when we're importing these into our project assignment. Because that way, if we're applying any kind of translation or rotation later on when we're heading into our scenes, and we want to import these in from Studio Library, everything is generally zeroed out. So for now, I'm just going to leave it at, I'm just going to be working with the cog for this jump. But yeah, we're just going to add one more frame during this contact off. I'm going to have it immediately after frame 10. That way, because I want to have like just kind of a fast kind of jump motion, just so once again, the jump feels really sharp, like in that reference we were showing earlier, where the line of action was really strong with the spine itself. So yeah, I want to replicate that. And when you're working within the side view, just selecting the general control over here is actually very easy when you just want to manipulate everything just on one axis. Because, you know, if you're selecting your world control here, you're not getting an exact side view manipulation when you're moving this general control in the middle over here. When you're working within here, you're working directly on the X and Y axis. And you're not affecting the, or you're working directly within the Y and Z axis and not the X axis. So that is very easy just to like quickly post things out instead of just using the Y and Z controls directly from the perspective view. So yeah, we want to position our shoulders down, so that is arcing downwards. The swing will be happening forwards when we head into our later frames. Just going to tweak our pull vectors as well, just so it's facing more inwards. For this initial antic, actually, I'm also just going to roll the ball control just a little bit, slightly. Not too much, since we still want some balance within the feet themselves, but when they're leading into the takeoff. But yeah, maybe like around here, we can add a bit of roll on the feet themselves. we can actually offset these just a little bit, just so it's looking a little bit more natural. I'm actually just going to add another frame directly after this. I'm actually just going to delete this one key pose right over here and just move it back to frame 9. That way the jump is happening a little bit faster. We're just going to key everything again. And from this point, I just want everything stepped, so just make sure that is set properly. Since some things are not fully splined out, so yeah, here for example. But actually I think since this motion is looking okay in spline for this interpolation, I think from here we can just leave it the same. So that's looking okay as a start off. We're going to push our poses a little bit further when we polish some things up, but we just want to get an idea, just lay out our poses initially, and then from there we can polish some things up a little bit more further in the blocking phase. Then when we head into spline, we can notice anything that's looking off from there, and then we'll slowly head into our polish.